Oi! Taxi! Taxi! Oh, no. Oh. You seen these two blind authors? You don't have an idea where they might have went. What, you take me for a fool? I can't believe one of them went to London with the other. I know whose inspiration did this. And I've been trying to get their autograph too. Well, let's go find them. Welcome to The Strenuous Life, the podcast where people, men, women, leaderpreneurs, and entrepreneurs learn the essence and soft skills of the strenuous life. Good to see you guys this cool West Texas evening. I gotta tell you guys, this is the third take that I've had on this podcast. It's almost like the forces of reactivity do not want me to put this out. But nonetheless, it's going out. Alright. Where do I start? May 1997. I went to see Keith for a few weeks before going back to Lubbock and getting ready for my wedding. He said, Jimmy, I've been reading novels about these people talking about some of the crazy stuff that they did when they were a kid. He said, I think I'm gonna write me an autobiography of all the crazy stuff I did before I had my brain tumor. I said, well, go for it. He said, I've already written several pages. I hope to, and I know it's in Braille, but I hope to get it finished by the time I pass away. Sadly, the book was never published. But there is one published author among the two of us the one guy that is published among the two blind authors, and that's me. And I know the book was The Winning Personality, a values-based approach to entrepreneurship in this economy. You can get it on Amazon. Now, let me tell you something. I think Keith's heart would swell with pride because the book was dedicated to him. He would like it that it's values-based. Everything that I do in my writings, in my various podcast shows that I have, everything I do is all values-based. And that's how Keith trained me. You see, I grew up in a family, don't get me wrong, we had morals. Shoot, Daddy drilled in me about morals. I was talking to my best friend today about some of the stuff that he thought that my daddy would talk about or get away with. I'm like, are you kidding? I said, my daddy went crazy before Vietnam. I said, but I'm warning you, he came back straight as a board. But I'll tell you something. Keith knew my daddy. And he was like, man, Jimmy, your dad is cool. He said, I like it that he's straight as a board. Not very many men have that moral fiber or character like your daddy, you know. And so, Keith was a man, even though he was writing about some of that crazy hijinks he pulled as a kid, Keith was also a poet. I remember 3 years before he died, he sat there with me and Jim Bob and read the poem. And he said, the poem was about guns. And it's not what, some of you in the gun control crowd, it's not what you think. And those on the right, it's not what you think. He says, I wouldn't kill for sport. That isn't my plan. I wouldn't dare kill anyone, an animal or a man. You see, Keith and I would shoot guns basically for the fun of it. Now, we're not getting political, we're not getting reactive here on this show. None of my shows go into political and reactive. I tried a news show once And because of COVID, I went reactive, and I thought, as much as I like being informed in the news and keeping people informed, the hard part is the news media on both sides of the aisle are not keen on telling the whole truth. And let me tell you something about one blind author who drilled this into my brain, and that is telling the truth. Okay? Keith didn't hesitate. He didn't hesitate to be a man of truth. Now, I gotta say, when we first started hanging out in 1992, 1993, Keith and I had our political differences. What I'm grateful for is that Keith won the other. We'll just leave it at that. Now, Keith's views are a little bit more libertarian than mine, but that's one thing and another. The show is not about being reactive. The reason why I brought these two blind authors up is because by the time I got a hold of him in 1996 and 1997, Keith was a big dreamer once again. He'd kind of given up for a little while when a group of us known as the Federation 4, me, Jim Bob, Keith, Brad, kind of split up over some silly stuff. But then he got around me in Lubbock and Texas Tech and the caliber of friends I had there, and he's kind of like, now that's the Jimmy I know. That's the Jimmy that I like hanging out with. He's like, but sometimes, man, you are crazy. You're kind of crazy. And I'm betting that, at the beginning of the deal, that those two Brits. Well, I know one thing. The one that wasn't inspired here. Boy, he was calling for that taxi. He was crazy. Well, why do you say that? No way. No way is he crazy. He ain't crazy. So, there you are about the story about Keith. And I hope you like what you hear on the Strenuous Life Radio. If you like what you hear, please subscribe, become a part of the Strenuous Life Radio community. This is Jimi Hendrix saying until next time. Don't just sit there and take it. Build your dreams so you can take it. Do what others don't so you can be what others won't. Do what others don't so you can have what others can't. Choose, act, think strong, and live the strenuous life. God bless you.